Well, if you've been on TikTok or Instagram lately, well, you've probably seen the term human capital. I've definitely heard that a lot. It's really the latest workplace trend going viral with millions of views on videos talking about how presence, agency, and awe are the real competitive edge in today's economy. The message clear, really, in the age of AI and automation. Your value isn't just what's on your resume, it's how you think, connect, and lead. So with burnout rates in Canada at record highs, well, this new mindset could be exactly what we need. So let's unpack this all with money expert and keynote speaker Robyn Thompson, frequent guest on the program. Robyn, nice to have you back again this morning.
Nice to be here, thanks.
So let's talk about this whole idea, first of all, of burnout. Before we even get into human capital, we just talked about stats, about 50% or so of people burnt out here. What does that mean? How is burnout defined, and what are the issues surrounding burnout?
So burnout isn't laziness, it's not weakness. Essentially, it's a mismatch between the effort that you're putting in and the recovery that you're getting back. So it's really about that hustle and grind culture, not really spending enough time in recovery or being in a place where you actually have the ability to be able to have clarity or momentum or see things beyond just the, oh my God, it has to get done, more output, more work.
It's a difficult cycle, right? And to try to break out of that burnout cycle, do you have any tips on how we can sort of get out of the burnout?
Yeah, so I think it's really about, what we're talking about today, and is to understand that the work that we do is more than just what we do, it's who we are. So how do we show up at work? How do we show up as the collective part of ourselves that's creative, that has emotional intelligence, that's connection and collaboration? And that's not just working through the motions, but allows ourselves to deeply connect to what it is that we're doing and the purpose that's driving us forward.
Yeah, that's the human capital side, which is really a buzzword that we're hearing quite a bit about here. The human capital, is that more something that an employee needs to embrace, or is that something employers should embrace with their employees?
Yeah, everybody needs to embrace human capital. So human capital is essentially, it's who we are, it's not what we do. So we take a look at human capital and it encapsulates all of the internal skills that we have that drive our life forward. And those are, sometimes they're considered to be soft skills. Yeah. But when you look at the soft skills, they're actually the things that drive companies forward, the things that drive momentum forward. Because we no longer live in a world where companies can allow their employees to come into work every day and hustle and grind. Because what we're seeing, especially on places like Instagram or TikTok or social media, is people are coming out into the world and saying, listen, I'm living a different life now. I have escaped the burnout world, and now I've created some balance in my life, and I'm thriving because I found a way to be able to have purposeful work, but also tying it to performance, but that is built around what it is that I consider to be successful.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, in an environment where AI in some cases seems to be sweeping or sort of growing in popularity from an employer perspective, human capital can make you stand out, I assume, from either bots or just people who are just like you said, kind of doing the job and not doing more.
Yeah, AI is going to automate a lot of the things that can be just regular tasks that we don't need to be doing anymore. So the real currency is going to be, what can we bring to the table that's our own? What's the humanity or the humanness in the choices that we are making and deciding? And that really has to do with our agency. What is our ability to be able to make choices, control our own decisions, and be able to influence life circumstances with autonomy and intentionality?
On that, though, in some cases, things are a little bit out of our control. We like to think we have control, but, there's this, trend going around. I've seen various instances of all the cool girls are getting fired, things like that. Getting fired in some cases can come completely, or laid off, can come completely out of the blue here, regardless of your human capital, the amount of work you put in. So what do you say about that? How can people tackle that uncertainty that looms over, some people's jobs?
Yeah, forced change is very difficult, especially when you're in an environment where we're seeing a lot of people that are going through layoffs. And we're seeing the economy that's been going through a difficult period for quite some time. So when you're looking at a place like a layoff, you have to understand, first of all, what is the capital that I get to deploy in a new employer? What do I have internally that I can now start to look at? What do I believe in? Where's my courage? Where's my presence? How do I use the different power choices I have within myself to be able to look at decisions clearly, to be able to drive momentum forward, and then essentially be able to look and compound what I have to offer into the world in a new way, and stay away from hustle culture, look more at value. How can you provide value to the world?
Really introspective look at this. Okay, Robyn Thompson, always appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us again this morning. Nice to see you. Yeah, pleasure. Thanks so much.